Welcome to Slacker Gaming and welcome to this week's Dynasty Rebuild. As always, we take a team from opening day and try to build them to win that coveted World Series. If we get it in 5 years, I consider that success. However, if we can't get it done in 5 years, it is a failure. This week's team is going to be the Twins, so let's get it started. Alright, so this week's team is the Minnesota Twins. I'm going from basically the best finishing of last year and just going to keep going down until we get down to like the Pirates and stuff, which will be much harder rebuilds. So these first early rebuilds are somewhat easy. So far we are 3 for 3 successful. So the Dodgers took us 5 years to get them and win it. Then we had the Tampa Bay Rays, who took us 5 years to rebuild and win. And then the latest episode was San Diego, and we actually got done in the first year. So the Twins are the next one up, and the Twins are a team that I think we could win it in the first couple of years if we get the correct stuff on the team. There's a few things I want to address on this team. However, they're pretty loaded already. As you can see, they're ranked 10th, 17th in contact, 8th in power, 8th in pitching, 16th in defense, and 23rd in speed. So let's jump in and get it done. Our batting rotation starts with Simmons at shortstop, Arias at second base, Cruz in right field, third base is Donaldson, Sano at first base, left field Kepler, Jake Cave in center, Polanco is going to be our DH, and Mitch Garver our catcher. We also got the young stud Kirilloff, Byron Buxton, which I don't know why he's not out there, Ryan Jeffers, Kyle Garlick. And then let's go ahead and switch this. There's just no reason why he would ever be anywhere but in the starting lineup. So let's put him where I think he would actually be at and go from there. And then we are going to be using DH because we are in the American League. So definitely the DH roster or the DH are going to be what we use going forward. Now let's take a look at the pitching rotation. We start off with Maeda, our ace at 88, Barrios 81, 77 Hap, Pineda at 75, and Smeltzer at 74. Going into the bullpen, we got Shoemaker, Balazovic, Dobnak. They have a lot of weird names in here. Stashak, Robles, Duffy, Colomb, and Taylor Rogers as their closers. So first of all, I would say the thing we need to address first would be the starting pitching. And we'll wait for a second to see kind of what's going on. I'll probably sim to All-Star game and All-Star break and see where the team's at and kind of make some changes in. I want to see how the team is playing before I just start completely rebuilding them, because they're already a good team and I don't think there's a lot of rebuilding that needs to go into it. I do think there is changes that need to be made. So we're going to sim to All-Star game and I will see you guys then. Alright, we are at All-Star break and we're not doing too bad. 57 and 34 on the record, and we are in first place in the AL Central. Indians are 3.5 behind, White Sox 7.5, Royals 8, and then the Tigers way down there in 24. So let's take a look at the roster, see what we need to change, see if there's some things that we could change this year to get us in a better spot at the playoff runs. Simmons leading us off with 626, 286 from Arias, Cruz hitting 252, 13 home runs, 300 by Donaldson, good. Sano kind of low, Kepler 308 by Polanco, not bad. 265 by Cave, and Garver hitting 235. I'm not sure why Buxton isn't in there. It's really frustrating me. I keep moving him and the computer just keeps sending him back. So we'll move that around. We'll try to get that fixed, but I do think there's some people we want to move. I think Cruz is a guy that's obviously getting worse. I think we try to move him right now and see what we can possibly get for him. And Cave, I like what he's doing, but I also don't think this is going to be something that he does all the time. So I want to look at that as well. What I also want to do is possibly move on from Donaldson. I know he's killing it, and we might keep him this year, but he's going to get worse, and he's only going to, I guess, yeah, he's going to get worse. So might be a guy we move on from there as well. So we want to move Cruz. So what I'm thinking here is Cruz, we probably move before the end of the year. And what I might do is honestly move Byron Buxton. And I know people are going to throw a fit, and it's, what kind of rebuild is it without Byron Buxton? But Byron Buxton is going to want a lot of money. And I don't think we are gonna be able to afford him, and I would rather move him this year and package him with some really good guys and get that back. Let's take a look at the pitching rotation, see how we're doing there. Maeda killing it, 254, 374, a little high for Barrios, 429 high for Pena, 416 and 557, 203 from Hap. I don't know why Hap isn't in the starting rotation if he's throwing that well. Dobnak 418, some 4s, 3s, 4s, 0.96 by Colomb, but he's also only pitched 9 innings. And then wow, Taylor Rogers is killing it, completely locking it down, 33 saves already and only 2 blown saves. So I think we try to make a move out here. Maybe Pineda is ready to move out, and then we're going to try to find some batters that are going to help us as well. So let's get the trade started. So the first trade I want to do is I want to see what we can get for Byron Buxton, and I'm aiming really high. I want a starting pitcher out of it, and I would like a right fielder or something, or even a center fielder that's going to be able to kind of hold their own already in the MLB. So we're going to go through and we're going to try to find somewhat of an ace for our staff, and going to try to find some outfield help as well. So I think we got a pretty good trade here. We're going to give up Buxton, a guy that's in the last year of his contract, so not a guy that I think we could afford to bring back, especially with the other free agency guys in the market. Buxton isn't really a high guy on our priority list to get him. If we were the Minnesota Twins, we'd probably do everything we can to keep him, but we're trying to rebuild in 5 years and win a World Series. So Buxton gonna get traded as there. Also, we're gonna do Cody Stashak, just because he is in the last year of his career. Yes, I know we got renewal and arbitration and everything, and he's not having a bad year. He's been pretty good for us, but we need him to be able to get this trade done. And then we are sending Cruz out of it, and $13 million, which will really help in salary for this year and next year. He's getting worse, so we're going to send him as well. And what we're getting back is Giolito, a guy that probably is going to be our best pitcher starting off. And then we're also getting left field Elroy Jimenez, which I know he gets very good very quickly, and he's got 4 years on his contract. We also got Giolito, which, yeah, I know we're going to have to probably pay him this year, but I do think it will be worth keeping him on our team. So we're going to go ahead and make this trade, the first big blockbuster trade, and we ended up getting our starting pitching and outfield bat that we want. We still have additional things to go get, but this is the first trade. So we got another blockbuster trade, and again, this would never happen in the MLB, but since the MLB 21, the show Trade Logic, is completely screwed up, we're taking advantage of it here, and we're going to get Anthony Rendon right now, hitting 306 average. Salary's a little high at $24.6 million, but he has 6 years left on that contract, and I think he's going to give us 3 or 4 years of solid play, whereas we're going to give up Josh Donaldson at $23 million a year, and then we're also going to give him this guy who will probably never ever play in his life in the MLB. So we're making this trade, and we're basically stealing him because, yeah, Donaldson going down at 87, and we're getting a 93 that's still increasing a little bit. Some of his stuff is going down, but some of his stuff is going up. So we're making this trade, and we're going to be set at third base for the next several years. So to try to boost that starting pitching, we're going to go get Alcantara from the Marlins, and we're basically going to trade away Hap, who has been doing good this year, but again, he's 38. He's probably going to retire. It's not really something that we can keep. He's also $8 million in that contract, and we're going to give him up. We're going to give up a catcher and a second baseman that's not going to be playing too much for us. So we're going to trade all of that for Alcantara. Right now, he's killing it, 303. He's had a 3 ERA for the last 4 or 5 years. So another good trade to bolster our starting pitching. So since we moved our center fielder Byron Buxton in a trade, I want to get another center fielder back. That is very good. So what we did is we're going to go out and get Ketel Marte, a guy that's 27, A potential. He's going up. He's hitting 243. Last couple of years, he's hit 3s and 2s, or high 2s and 3s. So we're hoping he can kind of turn it around for us here. And all we're giving up is a starting pitcher That is an A potential, but a guy that I don't think will be in our starting rotation in the next couple of years, because chances are, if we need to, we will trade for better starting pitching. So a guy that I don't see being an 80 in the next 2 or 3 years. So we're going to move on from him. And then they wanted the closing pitcher, so we added the 68 overall D potential pitcher there. So again, another huge steal, A potential, 83 overall, contract only $4.4 million, and we got him for 2 years. Let's make this trade and see where we're at. So let's take a look and see what our lineup looks like. Ketel Marte, our leadoff guy now. Arias in at second base and second in the lineup. Rendon, our number 3 hitter. 4 is Jimenez, Polanco, Kepler, Sano, Simmons, and Garver. And I think this is going to be okay for what we do this year. I think next year we obviously need to make a few more trades, but I do like what Arias is doing at second base, and I think he's just going to get better. And so I don't think second base is going to be something we need to hit on. Right field, Kepler is getting better, but I don't know if he's like I don't know if he's the answer for us there. First base, Sano right now, as long as he keeps hitting home runs, I mean, I feel like we got to keep him, but we might move on from him pretty quick if he starts to struggle. So a few of those positions we're looking forward in the future. I think we're good at catcher again. As I said in other rebuilds, catchers are just so hard to like the money and all the trade and everything is just so much for a catcher to have them only hit like this 235. And so this is pretty normal for a catcher, and so we're going to keep him as our catcher. Now going over to our pitching rotation, Maeda, our number 1, Giolito, our number 2, Breas, number 3, Alcantara, another trade, our number 4, and Pineda, and at the 5th. So we're going to keep going. We're going to go, let's go all the way till September call-ups, see where we're at, see if we're still in first place, and then see if there's any changes that need to be made then. So we were at September call-ups, and we struggled last month. We lost a lot, but we were still in first place at 79 and 55, 3 games up on the Indians, 6 games up on the White Sox. So let's go ahead and just sim through and see where we're at. And I'm sure we're going to get at least a wild card spot, but we're going to sim up to like the last 2 or 3 days, and then we'll see where we're at. So we were in the last 3 days of the season, and we're up 7 games. We got a 3-game stand against the Royals, so we are in the playoffs, and we are in pretty easy. So 96 and 63 right now. Looking at the other American League teams, there's not really anybody in here that is with us. The Yankees have 103 wins. Other than that, we're looking at 80s. Wow, the Dodgers 116 wins. Yikers. Anyways, we're going to make it into the playoffs, so let's go ahead and sim and see what our stats are at the end of the season, who played well, and all of that good stuff. So the season is over, finishing 97 and 65. Let's take a look at the lineup, see how we did. Simmons 266, 286 from Arias, so he continued that all year long. A great year for him. I think he's just going to continue to get better, and I don't think we're going to have to worry about second base. Rendon 323. The guy went nuts. Actually got better. I think when we trade for him, he was like 305 or something. So he actually went up in average. 268 for Elroy. That's all right. He'll have a better season next year. 277 from Marte. Polanco 290. 249 from Kepler. 223 from Sano. Again, a guy that we might move on from at first base. And then Mitch Garver actually finished with a 263, which is really, really good, especially for a catcher. Our guys on the bench didn't do too bad as well. We actually had a couple of guys hitting high in the 2s. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pitching rotation. Giolito ends up being our number 1 at 345, 270 from Maeda, so he kept it up all year long. 19-9 the record, 357 for Breas, 315 for Alcantara, and 455 for Smeltzer, a guy. And these guys have kind of been switching off back and forth, so we definitely need a better number 5 in a rotation, and I really wouldn't mind going off this offseason and getting a very, very good ace pitcher, even though we already have 2 ace pitchers here, but just to add another one into the mix and then have a 5 rotation with your number 5 being Alcantara and an 81 overall would be absolutely amazing. Let's look at the rest of the bullpen. They all did their job, really. 571 for Tyler Duffy, struggled a little bit there. Then 115 from Taylor Rogers, doing his job. 51 saves, only 4 blown saves. So a great job for him. So not all in all, not a bad year, and I think we do stand a chance at winning the World Series, but we got a lot of work ahead of us, and our team isn't as strong as I think they could be as far as being able to win that World Series. So let's go ahead and jump into postseason and see what we can get done. So we are against Houston Astros in the ALDS, so we don't even get the play-in game between Cleveland and the White Sox. So all three teams in our division are in: Cleveland, White Sox, and us. So we ended up putting 3 in the division in. Looking at the NL side, you got St. Louis, the Mets, San Diego, Chicago Cubs, and the Dodgers. So let's go ahead and jump in here and see what we got matched up. Sim through day. So the first game, we got Giolito versus Lance McCullers. Let's see if we can get the win there. We do. 5-4 up, 1-0. Maeda and Valdez, a really good matchup of pitchers, and got the win there. So we're up 2-0. Awesome. So we got the final knockout game here, Greinke versus Barrios, and I would normally give this to Greinke, and especially being at Houston, but I think we can get it done, and I think our pitching has been very good so far. So let's get it done in 3 games. We lose 8-1, big oof there. Alcantara, one of our best pitchers, against Urquidy. Let's get it done. We do. So we are on to the ALCS, where we will play, to be determined. Still to be determined. Who are we playing? The Yankees. So the best team in the AL side. I think they had 116 wins or something in the end. So definitely a better team than what we played in the first one. But it looks like they had their run against Cleveland 3-2. So they actually went to 5 games against Cleveland to be able to beat them. So maybe they come in with a little beaten up at Severino, Garrett Cole. So I guess we get the number 2 guy and then the number 1 guy. So I guess we don't really miss much, but we do pin our number 2 against their number 2 and our number 1 against their number 1. So let's get game 1 started in the series of 7. We are on to the ALCS against the New York Yankees. So game 1, Severino and Maeda. We get the loss there, 3-4. Don't like to see that. It was a close one, but what do? Game 2, Cole. We got to win this one to try to stay in it. And we don't. 1-2 loss. So our bat's just not doing much. Our pitching's fine, just can't get any hits apparently. So game 3, this one's home. Hopefully we can get a win, because if we lose this one, it's looking far and far out of reach. Game 3, a loss, 3-6. Game 4, the sweep. Yes, we get swept by the Yankees in 4 games, all of which low scoring games. We only scored 3 runs, 1 run, 3 runs, and 0 runs in this whole thing. 1 run. I mean, we did enough here, but wow, you got to score more runs in the postseason if you want to win. So the Yankees are going to go play the Dodgers. A pretty even matchup there, and the Yankees actually beat the Dodgers in the 2021 World Series. So let's go ahead and get the new season started. We got a lot of stuff we want to do this year, and we got a lot of things we want to change. Looks like a couple of guys retire for us. Nobody of which really matters. So we are going on to season 2, and we will pick up at the free agency. So we're going to take a look at free agency, and who we got this year is Lindor, Story, Syndergaard, and Correa. So a bunch of shortstops, which doesn't vote well for the shortstop we have now. Looking at who we have now at shortstop, we've got Simmons at shortstop at 82, a guy that we can move on from. I would definitely trade him. He's getting worse. He's 32 years of age. Definitely a guy that we signed him. We signed him, so we have him, but definitely a guy that I think we can move on from if we find the best shortstop that we can. Other guy in here as well is going to be Syndergaard, a guy that can definitely help us. We got the surplus, we got the budget, we got about $80 million to spend. And so we could definitely get both of these guys, and Syndergaard would be a huge guy in the starting rotation. However, I'm not 100% sure I want to roll with Syndergaard. I do, but I don't, because I feel like next year's class of starting pitchers is actually better. And so I'm wondering if I should save the money, or maybe what we do is get him for this year, and if he doesn't do very well, we trade him at the end of the year, get some of that capital back, and then go ahead and next year's starting rotation, starting pitching, go ahead and go out and get somebody that is worth it. So we got Syndergaard. He is coming to the Twins on a $27 million contract. So we were able to get Trevor Story. So we were able to get Syndergaard and Trevor Story, both guys that we really wanted to grab. So let's go ahead and sim through free agency and take a look at our lineup sim. So while we were simming, we got a trade that I want to take a look at. We are going to be getting back Sixto Sanchez, a potential overall, 23 years of age, 80 overall currently, and then we're going to be getting a 68 overall, a potential 21-year-old center fielder in Connor Scott. Not a guy that necessarily is ready for the majors, but it could be a crucial trading piece later on, and they are wanting Kenta Maeda. And the reason I'm thinking of doing this is Maeda is 33 years of age, B potential 89. His stuff is going down, and 270 last year, 270 the year before. It's hard to give that up, and I know I don't want to give this up, but I'm trying to think into the future, and giving this up now might really pay dividends, especially if this guy is a crucial trade piece and another guy that brings us what we need. So I'm going to do this. I don't know. We'll wait and see if it ends up playing out or not, but I'm going to go ahead and make this trade with the Marlins. So we are ready for season 2 to begin in the Twins rebuild. Let's take a look at the lineups to see what we got. Starting off the season, Trevor Story at 1, Arias at 2, Rendon at 3, Jimenez at 4, Marte at 5, Blanco at 6, 81 Kepler at 7, Miguel Sano at 8, and 9th is Mitch Garver. Going over here, we got a couple of guys coming up. Maciel, a guy that played in the minors last year, coming up. Jake Cave here, and Simmons here, and Simmons is going to be a guy that we probably move quickly, and I will show you that here in a second. Next thing is the pitching rotation. Syndergaard our number 1, Giolito our number 2, Barrios our number 3, Alcantara number 4, and Sixto Sanchez our number 5. We did get rid of Maeda for Sixto Sanchez and another recruit, but I do think we will be making some changes, and I will show you that again here in a second. As far as the relievers go, there's a couple of good relievers, a couple of not so good relievers. I'm hoping Taylor Rogers has another year like he had last year. 51 saves for compared to 4 blown saves, and we did very well last year. And 106 ERA over 17 innings. Duffy struggled a little bit, 571, but we think he will bring it back down. So everything looking good. I'm really excited about this season, but before we get it started, there is a trade that I want to make, and that is going to involve Simmons. We're going to need to move him. We signed him just in case we didn't get another shortstop, and then Trevor Story was able to sign with us. So it's time to move Simmons, and what I want back is a starting pitcher. So we're going to have to go out, try to find a starting pitcher that we like, and go ahead and see if we can get the trade made. So I think we found ourselves a trade, and again, MLB 21. They said they revamped the way you can trade, and they sure did. They actually made it worse and easier to pull off ridiculous trades. And this ridiculous trade comes at the expense of the Braves. They're going to give us Mike Soroka, a 23-year-old, a potential, already a 90 overall. Yes, I know we're going to have to pay him a lot next year, but I am fine with that because we are giving away a 32-year-old B potential guy, 82 overall. We're also giving away Jimmy Carrigan, a guy that is a C potential, 69 overall. And then we ended up making the pot a little sweeter with Ian Hamilton, 24 C potential, 54 overall. So complete steal for us, but we will take it. And this is going to be a blockbuster trade that would never happen. But because MLB The Show 21's trade logic is crap, you're able to make it happen. So with that trade, let's take a look at our pitching rotation. We got Soroka, Syndergaard, Giolito, Barrios, and Alcantara. We got Sixto Sanchez in the bullpen, and I'm sure these guys will flip back and forth throughout the year. So I'm excited about what this team is doing. I'm excited to see what we do this year and how we play. And let's go ahead and get it simmed all the way up to All-Star Game, see where we're at, see if we're struggling places, and see what changes we need to make. So I want to stop at the draft, and normally I keep going on, But I wanted to stop at the draft because I wanted to show you what we are doing right now. Right now we are 40-8. 40-8. I've never started off this well ever. And we are 40-8 at the draft. This is absolutely nuts. We'll sim ahead and see what the record is at the All-Star break. But right now at the draft, we are 40-8. The All-Star break, and we started out 40-8 and not able to really do that over the next portion, but we are still at 68-22, and we're up 14.5 games over the Indians, and the rest of the AL Central not looking good so far. So we are at the All-Star break. Let's take a look at the lineups and pitching rotation. In the lineups, 267 from Story, 281 from Arias. I told you he would get better, and he just keeps getting better and playing well at second base. Rendon hitting 293, 19 home runs for him. 252 for Elroy Jimenez, 19 home runs as well. 14 home runs for Polanco. He's playing very, very well. And 257, 8 home runs for Marte. Not sure if he got injured or what's going on. Cave, 220, 224 for Sano, and 330 from Garver. A great thing for a catcher, and I think it's time to move on from Sano. He's not really hitting the home runs. It's not really being beneficial for him to be on our team right now. So I think Sano and Cave, two positions where we possibly move on from. So we need a right fielder and a first baseman. Looks like we also called up Royce Lewis and Nick Gordon both. So both of them not really getting much playing time, so maybe guys that we use to trade as well. Going over to the pitching rotation right now, Mike Soroka killing it with a 2.33 ERA, 256 from Giolito, 366 from Syndergaard. Who knew that at the halfway point, Syndergaard would be our 3? He started the season at our number 1. He's down to number 3 with a 3.66 ERA, 218 from Barrios. I knew he could do better, and he's doing better this year. Awesome job by him. And Alcantara at 340. Sixto Sanchez throwing 350 in the pen. Pen's doing good too. I saw 4 in there, and a 279 from Taylor right now. He is 36 saves, 7 blown saves, which is more than he had last year, but I'm not going to be mad about it because it's still pretty darn good. So we're going to make some trades here. I want a right fielder and a first baseman that will win us games. Yeah, we're winning games. We're up, but the playoffs were rough last year, and we could not score runs. So let's go out and get some run producers, some home run hitters, and see if we can win this year in the World Series. So I think we found a first baseman that we want, and that's going to be Ryan Mountcastle right now. Speed potential overall, 25 years of age, 77 overall, but what I'm really excited about is how he's hitting this year. 312, 274 last year, 333 the year before that. So a guy that's consistently hitting in the higher 2s and low 3s, and so a perfect guy for what we want. The only thing we're giving up is a catcher. They wanted a catcher, and we have Chirinos, a 37-year-old catcher that's not going to play in the majors probably ever again for us. So we went and traded him. We also added Nick Gordon, a guy that is in our majors right now, but he's probably not going to play much for us in the majors because we have so many shortstops above him and even younger ones like Royce Lewis. So we're going to go ahead and give him up as well. And then we also gave up a relief pitcher that is down here at a D potential 62 overall to try to get this trade done. So I think we found the final trade we want to do. We're going to try to get Dominic Smith, a potential 85 overall, 26 years of age right now. The reason why I found him and won him is he is hitting 334 right now, absolutely blistering the ball. And yes, we have a left fielder, but right now we are struggling with some injuries. Kepler out at right field currently for 1 to 2 weeks with a broken ankle. Kirilloff not even up in the majors. Not sure why they didn't bring him up. But we got a center field. We're going to give up Jake Cave, kind of the cornerstone of the trade right there. And we're also going to give up a pitching prospect in Waddell, and a potential 73 overall guy, 26 years of age. And then a left fielder that we added on just to complete the trade. Now, I do want to keep in mind that we are in the AL, so we do have the designated hitter. So even when Kepler comes back, we do have that designated hitter role. So we are not really like moving anybody out of the outfield. We're more or less just upping our designated hitter right now. And so let's go ahead and make this trade. So last trade we're going to make is going to be moving Miguel Sano and trying to get a starting pitcher that I know is going to do well. And that pitcher If you've watched the Tampa Bay rebuild, you know Yarbrough is good for so many years, and that's who we're going to go get right now. 314 this year, 297 last year, 356 the year before. So a guy that I know is going to pitch well for us and kind of just eat up innings. And we're going to move Miguel Sano. There's really no other picks I want to move, and so this right here is kind of the play. So we're going to move him, and boom, we are good. Let's take a look at the lineup, see what we got. Story, Arias, Rendon, Jimenez, Dominic Smith, Mountcastle, Polanco, Marte, and Garver. So a very, very good looking lineup there. Let's go over to the pitching rotation. We got Soroka, Giolito, Syndergaard, Barrios, and now Yarbrough, Alcantara, and Sanchez both in the bullpen. And that's not bad because you never know what's going to happen during the season, and you never know when injuries are going to happen. And if the way we have it set up now, if we have an injury or two, we are going to be okay as far as pitching and lineup both go. So let's go ahead and sim all the way to September call-ups and see what we're doing at September. So we are done, and we actually finished with 121 wins and 41 losses, which is the most wins I've ever had in a season in a rebuild. So far, the Minnesota Twins take it at 121 and 41 as a record. Regular season come to an end. Looking at the playoffs, we got Oakland, New York on the ALDS side. On the other ALDS side is Minnesota, which is us, and LA Angels and Cleveland. So both of them playing to see who we will be playing. The other side is Milwaukee and the Mets again. Washington, San Diego in the playing game, and the Dodgers in the NLDS waiting for them. So let's take a look at our lineup, see how they did all year, and then we'll look at the pitching rotation. Lineups: 266 from Story, 31 dingers, 89 RBIs. Arias, not bad, 277, still getting better. Every time I see him, his overall goes up. Rendon, 313, 39 home runs, 108 RBIs, hitting a 313 average. Great job on him. 277 for Elroy, he got better, 35 dingers, 113 RBIs. Dominic Smith, 45 home runs, 117 RBIs, and hit for an average of 347. This is absolutely bonkers. I don't know if I've ever seen such a huge average and everything else. For sure, one player of the year, 347 average, 45 home runs, and 117 RBIs. That's crazy. Kepler not doing so bad himself, 26 home runs, 82 RBIs, 200, hitting a 292 average, 300 average for Mountcastle, 290 average for Marte, and a 278 average for Mitch Garver. Let's go ahead and look at how good our pitching rotation did. Soroka, 272, good job for him. 329 for Giolito, a 211 for Barrios. What a year he had. 211, did pretty decent last year. A better year this year. 211, 336 for Sixto Sanchez, 315 for Yarbrough. So it looks like we got a couple of injuries, which again we planned for. We knew it could happen. And it looks like, let's take a look at let's take a look and see who's injured. So Syndergaard is injured starting out 1 to 2 weeks. So we're not going to have Syndergaard for some of the playoffs. And then Alcantara, another guy that pitched very, very well this year, 287 ERA for him. Syndergaard finished with a 349. So again, I said that we could run into injury issues, and if we did, we would have backups. And that's exactly what happened. And boom, guess what? We have backups that pitched very, very well. So it's a good thing we made those changes, and we'll wait and see who we play in the playing game. The Angels. So the Angels beating Cleveland in the playing game. So we got the Angels and Minnesota. Let's get started. Game one, Soroka and Canning. Let's get the dub. A loss 2-3. You hate to see that. A game that we needed to win. We need to get to the ALCS, where we'll probably end up playing the Yankees again. Hopefully we won't get swept, but we got to get the win here in the ALDS before ever thinking about playing the Yankees again. Again, another home game, a must win here between Giolito and Bundy. A win 7-3. Good job there. Now we got Jose Barrios against Jose Quintana. A good game, and take the 5-6 loss. So pinned against the back, we got to win these next two games to stay in it. We got Patrick Sandoval versus Sixto Sanchez, and we lose, and we are eliminated. The best team record-wise that I've ever had, and we get eliminated in 4 games. Just absolutely terrible played And yeah, that was the year. I thought that year was the year we'd win it all, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And the Yankees beat the Brewers, so the Yankees win it in back-to-back seasons. And we're running into problems now because we are running out of money. So we're going to have to try to figure out how to move things around and how we're going to come up with the money that we need to keep all of the guys on our team. Yes, and we are ready. And this team is pretty much the same. I was able to move people around and be able to bring back basically what we had before. So starting off, Trevor Story, Arias, Rendon, Jimenez, Dominic Smith, Kepler, Mountcastle, Marte, and Garver. So pretty much exactly the same as we had last year. Now, going over to the starting pitching rotation, Soroka, Giolito, Syndergaard, Barrios, and Alcantara. Sanchez, Yarbrough over here in the pin. One of them, or maybe probably just one of them, we might end up moving depending on what we need throughout the season. As for that, got Taylor Rogers back. He did well last year. Again, 57 saves for him. So pretty much everybody from last year's team coming back from this year's team. 121 wins last year. So I'm hoping for something close to that again, except for this year. I want to win the World Series and not lose in the second round. So let's get it started. Let's go ahead and sim to All-Star break, see what we got, see what our record is, and go from there. We're in 26, so another year of just really good record so far going into the All-Star break. Let's take a look at the lineup, see how they're doing. Trevor Story hitting 297, a great job for a leadoff hitter, already 13 home runs of 46 RBIs. Estito in. I'm not sure if we have an injury. It looks like we have a bunch of injuries. Looks like 6 days for Mountcastle and 6 days for Arias. So him filling in, not bad though. 279 from him, 345 from Rendon. Dude is going nuts again. 270 from Polanco, 224 from Jimenez. Not what we want really. Definitely want it higher than that, but we have all the second break to do that. Kepler, 215, not very good from him. 283 for Dominic Smith, 304 from Marte, and 332 from Garver. So Garver's had a couple years now where he's just been killing the ball. So hopefully he can keep that up. Hopefully the injuries can come back and do better. I do want to look and watch Kepler and see if he starts struggling this year. Last couple of years he's been fine, but if he starts struggling this year where he's hitting like 220 or something, maybe we move on from him while we can, while his contract is coming up and while his statistics are good enough to get some good trade value off of it. And then let's take a look at the pitching rotation. Soroka, 242 from him, 382 from Syndergaard, that's really high for him, 258 from Giolito, 354 from Barrios, and 420 from Alcantara. 60 Sanchez, 3 and 322 from Yarbrough in the bullpen. So both of them doing pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with what I see there. Alcantara, hopefully it goes down. 420s a little high, not for a 5, but a little high for an 87 overall. As far as that goes, bullpen doing fine. Hansel Robles struggling a little bit. 519 from him. I have to keep watching him. And 323 from Rogers. He's blowing 3 saves, 29 saves already. So nothing bad there. So I think we just keep going, and we'll see you at the trade deadline and see if I need to make some changes. See if I need to trade Kepler or something like that. So I decided that I think we want to move on from Kepler, 30 years of age, and he's doing okay, but 220 isn't something that we need in the playoffs or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and actually trade him for Austin Meadows, a potential 27 years of age, so 3 years younger, has the higher potential, is going up in overall, and Austin Meadows having himself a year. Also want to point out, I wanted a lefty because Kepler was a lefty bat. I also wanted a lefty in return, and we got Meadows, and right now he's hitting 290, 291 last year, 290 the year before, so a high 290 guy. So a guy that I think we would definitely be beneficial to us this year in right field. So let's go ahead and make this trade, and I think that's going to be the only trade that we make this year, and we're going to go sim till September call-ups and see what our record is. So last year we finished with 121 wins, this year 114. Still happy about it, still not going to be mad about it, and we are going to have to wait to see who our playing game is between Oakland and Houston. The Yankees up there again, and the Angels, both of which have knocked me out of the playoffs these last 2 years. So Year 3 in the playoffs, we're going to see who we have to play and what we have to do to get to the World Series. Taking a look at the lineups at the end of the year, 293 from Story, 25 dingers for him, 322 from Arias, a guy that I told you guys would be better going forward, that we didn't really need to worry about getting a second baseman. He has done his job there. Rendon, 327, 28 home runs, 106 RBIs, 39 home runs, 102 RBIs, and a 247 average for Jimenez. A great year for him. Dominic Smith, 303 average, 101 RBIs, 27 dingers. Meadows, 48 home runs, 125 RBIs, and a 283 average, so great job from him after the trade. Marte, 29 bombs, 89 RBIs, 290 average, 242 from Mountcastle, and a 305 ending for Garver with 16 home runs. Perfect job to a good season. These guys not playing bad as well. Going over to the pitching rotation, Soroka, 254, kind of expect that from him. 330 from Syndergaard, thought that would be a little lower this year. 303 from Giolito, 411 from Barrios. He struggled this year. Last year, the 211. Started the season off really well, but kind of struggled halfway through and late into the season. 304 for Sixto Sanchez. Alec Atara pushed to the bullpen at 368 average, 304 from Yarbrough. So again, going into it with just an overabundance of great pitchers, and that's exactly what we want. 56 saves, 8 blown saves for Taylor Rogers this year, a little bit better than last year. So we are ready. We are primed for the postseason, so let's see if we can get stuff done this year in the postseason. I'm sick and tired of losing in the first round because we're just trash cans. So we got the best team. Last year I thought we had the best team. This year I think we have one of the best teams. So let's prove it against Houston. Game 1, Mike Soroka versus your Quiddy. Let's get the win. Let's get the sweep. Let's keep going. The loss 0-3. The offense struggles again. You got to be kidding me. Syndergaard, game 2 versus Valdez. Oh no. I don't understand how we can lose with this stacked of a team. Alright, Whitley and Giolito, if we get swept, I'm going to be mad. 11-10. We about lost that game. 11-10. Game 4, Barrios, McCullers. McCullers, I believe, is their number 1 guy. Barrios, our number 4 guy, I believe. So let's try to get this win. We can. 9-1. Okay. We are on to elimination game with our best pitcher, Mike Soroka, and their, I don't know if it's their best pitcher, but your Quiddy. We're going to jump into this one because I want to try to get it done in game. Quick manage. Yes, that's who we are. Let's get it started, and hopefully we can manage ourselves to a victory here today. Victory, a double is going to score Mountcastle from first, so already up 2-0. A 2-run dinger by Story, a 4-0 lead. Let's see if that can carry on for a long time. 2-run dinger for Smith, and we are already looking like we might be rolling. Martes, apparently I just need to run through these games because when I do it, we don't have any problem scoring in these games. Story, a fly out, a walk, strikeout, walk, single. We got to be careful here. A grand slam, and it is tied in the 9th. Alec Atara, bruh. What are you doing? Giving up 5 spot in the 8th. Let's go ahead and make a pitching change. I thought for sure we were set in stone, ready to roll. And now, oh no. Okay, we got to score. We've got 2 innings to win this one. Hopefully we can get it done. They're going to switch pitchers as well. Pop up, a single, fly out, and a fielder's choice. All right, we are in the 9th inning. We got to get it done. Dobnak, get us done here, Dobnak. Do not give up a home run. A walk, a ground out. Okay, we're good. So now let's walk it off. What do you say? Pitching change. Shishak in. Single. Marte. Double play. Great. Good to see. Love to see it. All right. So we got, what? Gary Sanchez in. We got to be careful with this. I think we honestly bring in, I really want to bring in Syndergaard, but we need him for the first one. So let's bring in our closer. Well, I don't like the lefty, because righty, and then a lefty. So let's bring in Colomb. Let's bring in Duffy. Duffy, get the job done, bud. Strikeout, ground out, and a ground out. All right, 10th inning. We have a guy on second base. So I am going to bunt him over to third. So let's hopefully we can get him over to third on this bunt. A ground out over to third. Okay, perfect. Now, Story, you have to score this guy, Story. This is your job, your one opportunity. You popped out. You popped out, bud. And ground out, great. We didn't score him. got on second, no outs. We screwed it up. And now we probably going to lose because they are probably not going to lose. Or they're probably not going to screw up like we did. Duffy in again. Do we bring him out? No. Fly out. Perfect. Double and boom. We lost. Well, no, we didn't. I guess. Oh, another double. Great. Okay, now we lost. Oh, we got to get 2 runs, guys. To even do anything, we got to get 2 runs. Rendon, give it to me. Pitching change. Fly out. Single. Scores a run. All right. Jimenez, walk it off. 2-run bomb. Fielder's choice. All right, Meadows. Your chance. 2-run bomb here. Single. Okay, Marte. Double. 2-run score. We won. We ended up pulling it out in the 11th inning with 3 runs. Oh my gosh. Our pitching used to be so good. What happened? I'm glad we got the victory, but holy cow. Houston and us just been a complete shootout. 11-10. We got the win in 12-11 in extras. All right, game 1. We got Syndergaard against Maeda. Come on, we got to start out strong here. We do. 3-0 win. All right, we're good. Giolito against Trinos. Another win, a loss. Wow, another big scoring game. I can't believe these are this big of scoring. All right, Soroka and Cole. Let's get her done. Win 3-2. Okay, up 2-1 in the series. Barrios and Montgomery. The win. Okay, up 3-1. Let's finish this off. We got Herman against Syndergaard. Syndergaard for, I mean, what else could you ask for in a 3-1 game? Syndergaard, finish it off for us, bud. He does. 5-2, and we are on to the World Series, finally getting past the ALDS, which was a struggle, and then finally getting past the New York Yankees. Game 1, Soroka and Flaherty. Jack Flaherty, a really, really good pitcher. I really like him. Super young. I like what he's got. Hopefully, though, Soroka's better and we can get the win in Game 1. Game 1, 5-1 win. Awesome. Syndergaard against Mikolas. Game 2. Give me the win. Yes. Let's go. 4-1. So we're up 2-0. Giolito. Quintana. Game 3. Last year we went against Quintana as well and lost. But this time we're going to get the win, right, Giolito? Yes, we are. 5-3. We are up 3-0. Let's get the sweep, boys. Let's jump into it. And hopefully we can get the sweep here and we can win the World Series. Year 3. Thought we were going to win it in year 2. However, it might have taken us 3 years, but let's jump in and see if we can get the win to take him out. Solo dinger by Jimenez. Let's go. A walk, strikeout. Okay. Solo dinger. Let's go. The solo home run by Marte. All right. Solo dinger by Rendon. All right. Now the bats are coming alive with the victory. The Twins have won the World Series in a 4-game sweep of St. Louis. And the Twins are your World Series champions in 3 years it took us. So that's going to be it, and we are successful with the Minnesota Twins. Next week we will be going and taking the Oakland Athletics into the rebuild and see if we can win a World Series championship with them. If I have not done your team yet, don't worry, we will get to it. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button and make sure that you can catch your team later on in the season. If you like this episode, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Also feel free to hit that red subscribe button, and I will see you guys next weekend. Until next time, Slacker out.